growing up Wenger, you're like, wow, he knows football.
Jack was like the standout.
When he played against Barcelona, that game will stick with me forever. I was like, mate, you are the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I remember Suarez, you've knocked the ball at you and then still come out of it the other side. And I was like, why does he keep doing this?
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Tea With Timbsy. Today I am joined by a very special guest, the one and only Henri Lansbury. Henri, my boy, how you doing, brother?
I'm very well, sir.
Very good, thank you. He's so chilled out, he's just got his legs crossed in Malbon, looking like Jason Day.
trying to.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Very
Yeah?
good. Yeah, a bit tired after last night, but I'm still here.
Yeah, you playing football still?
Don't ask me why.
No, it's, you know, keep the legs fresh.
It makes them worse now. It makes them worse, a lot worse.
Was it 7-a-side, 6-a-side, 7-a-side? Six
Six-a-side.
So you still playing Baller League?
Yes, it's a random one. Thought I'd test myself, see if I still got it. But these kids are sharp these days, and
You're talking like you're 50. You're like
Mate.
you're like 1 or 2 years older than me.
in football terms, I'm old. So it's like the brain's still got it, the feet have still got it, but the body can't move.
But what is it that? Because luckily, I haven't got to that stage yet. What does that feel like? Where you're like, I know I can get it on half spin, do this, but then what is it? Is it just like the muscles don't fight, or is it the knees or the joints, or what is it?
The body just doesn't move as quick as your brain tells you to. You lose a yard of pace, and these kids that nowadays you can't afford to be 2 seconds behind you. Otherwise, you're leaving a tackle on them. So that was.
But that's fine. I feel like that's a rite of passage for them almost. It's like you get that older, experienced lad who just leaves a little late stud in, and you go, look, there you go.
Yeah, it's a learning curve. That's what I call it anyway. If you hold on to the ball for too long, you're going to get kicked.
But I mean, because it's been how long now since you like officially hung up your boots?
When Luton got promoted to the Premiership.
So that was two, 3 years ago?
Yeah, I come up to 3 years. Probably the best decision I made for myself.
Really, genuinely?
Yeah, my body was battered. Before the World Cup, I tore my quad off the bone.
Oh.
So
Wow.
I had surgery to put it back on, and literally lost all feeling in my right leg. I probably could have carried on, but it'd have been like dragging my leg around. You know what I mean? And
Oh, I didn't know it was that bad.
yeah, it was a mad one. Probably my only real bad injury. So yeah, I decided to call it a day then. Body knows when it's time to stop.
That's it, because it must be like, for you, yeah, if you've gone that long through your career, because it's been like a long career with no real major injury that it must be quite a shock to the system where you're like, oh my God, this is it. I have to like.
Well, I knew it was getting bad because my body was breaking down. I couldn't put my socks on, and after a game, I'd walk like I had 2 crutches as legs. They were just so stiff.
That's mad.
You don't realise I left school early, went full-time football, and all of a sudden everything just wears away.
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of sad though. On the topic of like injuries and stuff, I asked Rob Holding this as well, because he's obviously had his fair few injuries, had his ACL and stuff, and I asked him like, how many players, for example, on any given week, like are actually fresh during a season, and he was like, next to none.
Yeah, there's not many. Everyone will always have something wrong with them.
But I just find that so. Obviously, you're dealing with a big group of players.
Yeah, it's mad because I don't think people see how hard footballers actually train.
Yeah.
So, and to put yourself through that every day leading up to a game, right? The last 2 training days before a game are a bit lighter, but then you then play the game, have a warm down, and then you're back training full. So body doesn't get much time to rest.
It's mad. But also, you know, when you get like massages and rub downs like every day after training, if you want.
Yeah, you do the high maintenance people
I know. Yeah, you get nails painted, everything. Yeah. But like, does that help?
Yeah, it flushes out certain systems. It depends what you like. I used to get a knife and scrape my legs.
Oh, that
geisha.
Yeah.
So I used to use that, and I swore by it for years. And then the chiropractor, just cracking all your bones in your body was one I'd like every morning. I'd have to crack my ankles, crack my hips, crack my back, and then I'd be all right to train. But
then also when you're like, as a youngster through the academy and then you break through to the first team, like, can you remember like even having those problems? Or like, is it just you're so young, you're so fresh, you're like...
Yeah, well, now it's all led by data. So they say, oh, the boys have had a hard week at 18. And I remember coming through that youth team, we'd be out there for hours just kicking balls, practicing. But now it's like, oh, you've done too much today. Can you come in? Can you stop kicking the ball? It's like then you don't feel, right, you might feel tightness or something like that, and then you know to stop. But as a young kid, the longer you stay on the training pitch, the better you're going to get.
Yeah.
But now it's so data driven, even all the way up to the first team.
When you stopped playing, was it just like, did you want to maybe try coaching, or you just already knew you were like, I don't really want to do that?
No, I got offered something with Rob at Luton, but obviously I'd set a business up and it hit the ground running. So for me, it was like, all right, my quad's not the best, but my business is taking off. So let me just crack on with the business side of it. And to be fair, probably mentally I was done, just over knowing when I come back, I felt like 2 yards off it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not trying to chase my tail here.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to look like an idiot.
Yeah.
running around after these little kids.
Yeah.
But no, they offered me to be like in between the first team staff and the players. So a bit of a middleman really, just a bit of comfort zone for the players. But then the hours of a coach, I'm 10 till 2, mate. I'm in and out.
Really?
Well, the hours, the first one's in, last one's out, and it's like planning sessions. Nowadays, you've got to write everything down. Mate, I can just about spell my name, let alone can write a session out.
But it's an interesting way of like staying in touch with the game, yeah? Doing so basically, well, for people who maybe don't know, like, so you've got your own organic fertilizer that has obviously done really well. Like, how did that even start? When did you start doing that, and like, why has it?
So it come back during lockdown. We were allowed to train at home, and I was at Villa, and my mother-in-law wasn't very well at the time, so I didn't want to go and catch something and bring it home. So I was at home training in the garden, and I had a gardener come around, cut the grass, and it was like left it too long. And I was like, mate, it's got to be shorter. He was like, yeah. When his van just left. So I was like, what's he doing? I called my mate. I was like, can I borrow your lawnmower? I was like, what do you want a lawnmower for? I said, mate, I need to cut my grass. He was like, all right, dropped it round, cut it. I looked back at the first stripe and I was like, oh, I love this.
Oh, really?
And then he'd come around that afternoon, started spraying it for all the weeds and stuff like that. And he was like, right, just stay off it for 24 hours because it's all toxic.
Yeah.
And obviously I've got kids and dogs. It was funny because I said to my missus, the kids were about to run out. I was like, no, get off the grass, you can't go on the grass. She's like, why? I was like, because it's toxic and that. She's like, well, can't you put nothing organic on it? Like, no toxic.
Yeah.
So basically she claims it's her idea, but I've just ran with it. So I called him up and said,
good idea, babe, let's go.
Yeah. And just said to him, is there anything organic that you can put in the grass? He was like, nothing on the market that's decent.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, well, can we make something? And he's like, you're bonkers, aren't you?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but let's just do it. Did it, trialled it on the grass, this organic stuff, and my grass just took off.
Wow.
And I was like, mate, it's the best it's ever been. And he's like, yeah. I was like, why don't we sell this to the public? This is what they need. He's like, it's a professional product. Like, you can't put it in the retail sector. I was like, we can.
Yeah.
Just pack it in smaller bags, create a brand out of it, make it funky, modern. Because gardening's boring.
Yeah, well, it's boring but therapeutic.
I'll tell you, coming to a certain point in life, you take care of your garden. Like when
It's facts.
It is. Yeah. And
my brother loves it.
I was just like, let's just make it cool, like protein for grass or something like that. So that's why, hence, we got the big Grass Games mascot, and so they basically is protein for grass. Like, it's like having a Red Bull. The grass just goes boom.
Yeah.
And it stays green, and it's scorch free, so you can leave it out, it won't burn. Like
wow.
The rest of the stuff on the shelves, I wouldn't waste your time, if I'm honest.
Yeah, so was it Grass Games or nothing?
100%.
Yeah. And then do you reach out to like football clubs as well? Because I know a few football clubs use it.
Yeah,
right?
so it was more retail to start with, and then obviously I've been back to Hale End once I finished, and because I love grass, I started speaking to all the groundsmen rather than the coaches and all that. And I was like, oh, what fertiliser do you use? And like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I can make the same product for you.
Yeah.
And they was like, all right, we'll give it a try. And so now it's just about breaking the mould of some groundsmen are stuck in their way with certain people from a certain company.
For sure, yeah.
And it's just breaking the mould. But we see it now, there's a lot of young lads coming through that are using it, and I've been really happy with it and keep reordering. So it's
unreal.
Yeah, it's a madness.
Mate, football, you know as well, just like the amount invested into like having a proper good pitch. But Stoke probably haven't hit you up, but
this is the problem. People don't realise how much actually goes into the pitch.
Really? From even before the season?
Like, you wouldn't even think about the groundsman. Like, when I used to go to a football match, wouldn't think about it. But now I'm like, I go there, I look at a pitch, and I'm like, mate, wow. Like,
really?
They deserve so much more respect than they actually get.
Mate, I always think this, yeah, because, right, You know when people score, the knee slide, is giving me nightmares. But like the knee slide is so common because it's an elite celebration. Yeah, you've done it before. I've seen you. Right? Must be groundkeeper's worst nightmare. You've dug up like what 4 foot worth of grass.
Yeah,
how do they even repair that for the? I don't understand.
It's called divoting. So you get like a little fork, probably like a 3-pitch fork they'll use, and they'll just slowly bed the grass back together.
It's like replacing your pitch.
But you'll see it. There'll be scuffs in that on the pitch, and you'll see them. But then they'll go out there and they'll blend it back together like it's not even there.
Right. Okay. Who's got the best groundsman in the Prem? Because you know how many Leicester City. Do you remember the designs they used to put on the pitch?
Yeah. No, I love Leicester. Leicester's probably one of my favourites.
Arsenal, obviously good.
Yeah, Arsenal, mate. There's so many. Every one of them is amazing at their job.
Yeah,
so you can't pick, but it's tough, man.
You don't need to pick. No, don't worry. They're all good. They're all good. The last bit on this as well, because I want to get into your career and stuff. I remember going to Man City, going to like the Etihad, the stadium, but the campus as well, just over the road, and they got like their second stadium, the smaller academy stadium, and we played on there. And it stank of garlic. So this was like before the season started, yeah? So it's like pre-season, and they were obviously still working on the pitch. And there were literally like clumps of garlic, and it just smelled so heavily of garlic. Yeah. I'm like, why have they done this? It's mad.
It's the little things, man.
Yeah.
There's so much, like I'm still learning now, there's so much to learn about it.
Eventually you're going to be a groundskeeper, you're like. Greenskeeper, actually.
Greenskeeper nowadays, yeah. In the garden one. No, I'd rather play than be a greenskeeper.
Yeah,
just appreciate their work.
So, talking of your career, there's a lot to dig into, but I want to start at the beginning. Obviously, Arsenal boy in the academy, and then you came through. So you broke through into the first team, 2000. And I want to say 8, 9.
I couldn't tell you, mate.
Oh, genuinely, you can't remember.
I can't remember.
Wow.
Yeah.
But okay, so the academy boys though,
my team was unbelievable.
Wilshere, obviously. Wilshere's probably like the big name from that, right? But then you've got Coquelin, Chesney.
Yeah, Frimpong, Sanchez Watt, J. Emmanuel Thomas. Like, our youth team coming through was a disgrace.
Yeah, and you won the FA Youth Cup as well, which
shows how good we were. Wilsh had an amazing career.
Yeah.
Did excellent. Francis done brilliant. A few of them fell off, but that's football for you.
Would you say Jack was like the standout player? Like you knew from, because when did you know him from? Like at what age?
What was he, a year below me, 2 years below me? He was just coming up as a kid, mate. It was frightening.
So you were 16, 15 and he was 2 years?
Yeah, well you recognise a player when you see someone take the ball any position. Yeah. And like today, like my favourite game of him was when he played against Barcelona. Like that game will stick with me forever. I was like, mate, you are the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, especially from a fellow centre mid as well, right?
Oh, mate, amazing. And just to see him do that, but he was fearless at the time.
Yeah,
absolutely fearless, and he run the show. And that game will live with me forever with him.
When you're playing with someone like him from a kid, like from 14, 15, it's difficult to see. Obviously, because you're all playing at the same level, it's like, wow, he's really good. He understands the game better than everyone, or like physically he's better, whatever. But it's hard to see how that can translate so quickly into like playing against Xavi and Iniesta, like the best midfielders of all time almost.
Well, literally it is. When you leave probably like the youth team and start training with the first team, obviously you're playing with better players. So you have to up your game. And then the way he just come on and just went, phew, mate, incredible.
But he was 16 at the time against that Barcelona midfield. And seeing him, in my head, it didn't make sense because like I didn't understand how. Obviously, technically he's great, and physically he was like quite developed for a 16-year-old. Right, his legs like massive. Man child. Is that what you called it?
Yeah.
But like, it's more the understanding which shocked me. Like how you can actually understand the game at that level at that age.
Well, you're fearless, aren't you? So you've probably gone out with a load of freedom. Obviously, got the tactics off the boss, and then just gone and just expressed himself when he had the ball, smashing them as well in tackles.
It's nuts.
He glided, mate. He's a glider. He literally glides past people like they're not even there.
Yeah, and we were chatting just before about Max Dowman, because everyone's saying like he's the next. I mean, he's 14, just turned 15, coming through. You've watched him play, and
yeah, mate. He's scary. He's similar spectrum. Like could be better.
To Wilsh.
to Wilshere, like them two on par. Mate.
Really? You would say like at the equivalent level?
100%. 100%. There's not many kids that, like the youth cup game I watched the other week, mate, then I watched his highlights back and it was even better than watching it live.
Yeah.
And he's got so much going for him.
Yeah.
If he stays on that right path, he'll be playing for England in no time.
But then, okay, so you talk about that right path. How difficult is it for them to then like translate that into, you've broken into the first team and become an important, like for example, what Bukayo has done.
Yeah.
Into like, do you think people realise how difficult that journey is?
No, people don't have a clue.
Really?
Don't have a clue how difficult it is. If he stays on, like I said, the right path, like if he dedicates his life to football,
yeah,
you've got no worries whatsoever.
Yeah.
He will make it. But it's the little bits and sometimes tip you off here and there. Might get a shout from different club, might turn his head, go somewhere else. But his path, mate, it's got Arsenal written all over it, mate.
Really?
100%.
Oh, that gets me so good. So good. Just, the thing is, yeah, Mikel as well, seeing that as a 14-year-old and be like, you're training with the first team. Like you obviously have experienced it where you're a kid and you get brought up to the first team. Yeah. Do you think it's, obviously one, he's maybe good enough, but also it's like a signal of intent almost of like, yeah, you're in my plans rather than you're not going to play, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Like he's getting tasters and that. He's going away with the first team. He's training with the first team. So he's around it. He knows what he's got to do. But so obviously when he comes back down to his own age group, he's got to be the best player. He can't go in there and be like, oh, what am I doing here? He's got to go and show everyone, I come back down here, I'm the best player. That's why I'm going over there.
Yeah. Because also when you broke through, the players that were in the first team, I mean like Thierry Henry and Robin van Persie and Cesc, that must be nuts, mate.
There's a difference, mate. I left school early, so I was like around it and saw it, and then the occasion time to go up and train, you're like, wow, like as an Arsenal fan growing up, like a kid, you've played for the whole club, you're like looking at the players, like, oh my God. Like,
that's actually
they're actually
Thierry
my friends now. They talk to me, like I'm training with them. But once you get bedded in and like, for myself, it was an amazing feeling.
And that like first training session, that it must be difficult for you where that first training session, you're obviously, you're a youngster, but you want to impose yourself, but you also want to play your own game. Like, does that play into your head when, like, the first training session?
Yeah, a little bit. But like, once you go over there, like, we had Pat Rice there, and
yeah, legend.
Yeah, he was like to me, look, just go and enjoy yourself. Go and do what you do. You're over here for a reason. You're good enough. Yeah, just go and do it. And then eventually, the confidence keeps coming, and you get more and more chances training, and then you're on the bench and you're around it. No, it's mad. It's surreal. Do
you remember much from your first few sessions?
No. No. My football memory, mate, is horrendous.
Mate, a lot of footballers' memories are nuts. Yeah. Like when I've chatted to like KDB or Salah and talked about their goals or assists, and they're like, yeah, I remember that. It was like 10 minutes before that I actually lost the ball. I'm like, how? This is from 8 years ago.
I can't remember that, mate.
Okay, well, because it's a shame, because Henry told me before, asking me about him smashing into Thierry Henry.
I slipped.
Yeah. Okay, right, explain.
Yeah, no, it was just a training session. Like, I thought I'd have to put studs on because I'm going with the first team, but then running down, I've slipped.
You've taken out Thierry.
Yeah, so sorry.
Genuinely,
mate, it's just a madness that couldn't happen to anyone else. So it put me right back. You know, I used to drift out, and I was like, oh no.
So what is it, like a five? It was like
a full side. Like,
full side.
They're more of a tactical
drill
day, and I've just gone out to press him and slipped. And
so you're right back. You see Thierry Henry drift out to the left wing. You're going, oh fuck.
It's just not the one for me. Is it? Do you know what I mean?
I'm a centre mid.
Yeah. Like, what am I doing out here? And I just look up, try and check my shoulder, and just come flying past like, oh no.
Was he hurt?
No.
Ah, sweet.
No.
Oh, you fine then?
Yeah. It was just that all of, I haven't hurt him, please don't self-hurt him.
Well, Arsene, right, would he get angry at that? Or like, because he seems so chilled and...
No, I've only seen him lose it a couple of times.
Ever?
Yeah.
I'm guessing not training for a match?
A couple of times he trained just because he wants the tempo at a certain standard, but there was one that I think it was Burnley away in a, what was it, FA Cup or Carabao Cup or something.
Yeah.
And he went absolutely mental at half time, and I was like, wow.
Really?
Yeah. Because before, like on the tactics board and that, he's so calm, like peaceful, This is what we're doing. This is where we're going to beat them. And then to see him lose it, I was like, oh.
So it probably hits more.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't really.
No, you don't see it.
Wow. Who was he going in on? Was it you?
No, Bentner.
So what, I'm guessing he missed a chance or he wasn't tracking back or something?
I think, it was a bit of all that. A bit of everything, and it just exploded.
Bentner, I feel like he was quite an, I feel anyway, he's quite an underrated player for us, where like, he's never going to go down in terms of like he's one of the best players to play for Arsenal. But I always thought he was quite underrated because he was maybe in the shadows of like Van Persie, Adebayor. What was he like?
The Lord, mate. He's
he called himself Lord. I forgot that.
Yeah, he's one of a kind.
But was he a good lad?
Brilliant.
Really?
Brilliant. One of the best.
Because
he's Marmite.
Ah, okay.
He is Marmite.
Yeah.
I hate him, but he loves himself. He believes in himself, and you just got to go along with it and just let Nick be Nick.
Yeah, but a nice boy.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I guess you have to have that weird self-belief to really be at the top as well, make it to the top. You've got to kind of have
100%. If you don't back yourself, like,
yeah,
there's no point of being there, is there?
Yeah. Who would you say in that group as well, where you were like best boys? It was Gibbo.
Yeah, Kieran, because we lived together he moved into my mum and dad's house I think I was 16, he was 16, 17. So he'd come into digs at my house, and then he started driving, we started rolling about. He bought his first house, I moved in with him, and then ever since that we ain't looked back.
That's so good. I miss Gibbo. What a guy.
So do I. Should really go and see him.
Well, yeah, he's in Miami now, so
yeah.
Oh, you can go see him. I
need headed paper to the missus to...
Going a bit more into your career and your highlights at Arsenal, obviously we have to talk about the League Cup goal against Spurs, because you're an Arsenal boy as well. Mm-hmm. That must have just been like, for you at that age, must have been the best day in your life.
Yeah, well, footballing life, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, everyone will ask what's the best goal, and it would be that one.
Yeah.
Even though it was a tap-in.
It doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter.
Also, it wasn't easy because you had to slide.
Yeah, but if you look where I've run from as well, I've run from the halfway line. And I think it was Bentley didn't track me.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant because my cousins were all Tottenham fans, and they were behind the goal I scored in. And they were so devastated, but they started clapping. They was telling me they started clapping. Everyone's like, what the F are you clapping that for? He's like, that's my cousin. He's like devastated, and I was like, oh, all right.
But you celebrated properly though. You were like, I remember it was like
the biggest jump I've ever done.
Yeah.
It's like white men can't jump, they can now.
And it was class because I remember watching that game. It was Wilshere assist.
Yeah.
Like took it on, dragged it back from the byline.
Yeah.
And you were just there to plonk it in, which is great.
That was probably the longest game of my life because it went to extra time as well.
Oh yeah.
I was cramping up.
What was that? Because also that was the days when Arsene, like a lot of people kind of criticised him for playing the youngsters in like even the FA Cup as well.
Yeah.
Like he was just, it was Premier League and Champions League, try and finish top four, blah, blah, blah. And then outside of that, FA Cup and League Cup, it was just kids.
Yeah, when you say kids, mate, it was the team, and I think Nasri was on there.
Yeah.
Rosicki, Aboué. We had a strong team, and there was like a couple of us that would get dotted in there, do you know what I mean? And
it's so techie, that team.
Oh mate, the team was a joke.
Who would you say was like out of that era, say from like 2008 to 10?
This will surprise you because there's one person that always stuck with me. I trained a couple of times with him before he left. Lassana Diarra.
Really? Oh.
Mate, I'm telling you now, he was incredible.
Technically, physically?
Yeah, technically, mate. Didn't get the ball away.
Really? Because he didn't really get a run with us.
No, he didn't. Which was, the midfield at the time, was tough to get in. But then where did he go to Portsmouth after or something like that? And then went to Real Madrid or something. Yeah. Didn't he? And when he left to Real Madrid, I was like, I knew to go there.
Really? He was that good? Mate,
incredible. For me, as a midfielder, him and Cesc, mate, to learn off them two.
Damn.
Mate. But even Gilberto, he gave me some advice that I'd never forget. He literally pulled me to one side and he said, before the ball comes to you, know your next pass. And when I was 16, that stuck with me. Yeah. So I used to love playing one-touch passes straight away because I'd know that his bit of advice just stuck in my head for the whole time.
Yeah,
even now, if you ask me one bit of advice, it would be that. Yeah.
Just think about what, know what you're going to do next.
Before you've seen him come in, scan the whole pitch.
And that is exactly what, if you could, it's that is what Cesc is I mean, Seskis was so good at so many things, but he was just like, he just knew. He's like, he saw one or two passes ahead or phases ahead. He just knew what he was going to do.
Yeah.
I feel like that with all the best players. That's what.
De Bruyne now, like that's some of the passes he makes. Like, I love watching him just because I know he's already seen what he's going to do before the ball even comes to him.
Yeah.
And it's like, knowing that as a footballer, I like start looking at the pitch. Like, if you build up, if I see the ball going to him, I'm like, where's he going to pass? Where's he going to pass? And then he'll just pull something out. I'm like, I haven't even seen that.
And then he does those dumb first time whipped crosses behind the defence perfectly. You're like, how is that actually possible? Like, no one does that.
He's some player, mate.
On that topic, talk about the levels of football. I'm so fascinated by the fact that, like, even in the Prem and like playing in the Champions League, for example, you're all professional footballers, you're all unreal athletes. Technically, you're all so good. But then even then, there are levels to the point where, like, Cesc Fabregas or Kevin De Bruyne, or like, how do you like rationalise that in your head? Is it like, I just need to work harder, or is it like they're just different?
Yeah, I think they're just different. They're human at the end of the day, but their football brain and IQ is just so far ahead.
Yeah.
And like the levels to go from Championship to Premiership. Like now, I think if you're an athlete, like a good strong runner, you can get away with going in the Prem.
Mm-hmm.
But the Championship is, if you don't turn up, you get beat.
Yeah.
Whereas the Prem's like a bit more tactical, like you have the ball, we'll have the ball. What setup we're going to play? You look like teams play against Man City, let them have the ball, try and counter-attack them.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I say Prem's a lot more tactical than the Championship. Championship's 100 miles an hour, no time.
Yeah. My mate Hosky was saying, because he's a Palace fan, obviously Palace has spent quite a bit of time down in the Champ as well. He went to all the games as well, watched it, and he was like, I'm convinced the Championship is harder than the Premier League in terms of like not losing or stringing together wins. It's just like, it's such a free-for-all.
It is, everyone beats everyone.
Yeah.
Which is the weirdest thing, because you think like the top of the table to the bottom of the table should be a big split, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's like if you turn up and you win the battle, it's like winning the first 20 minutes, then you've half got a chance of foot in the game.
Yeah.
Whereas the Prem, I think like you can almost nick a goal out of somewhere, because if your setup's right, you might not have the ball, but if you get one chance, like you'll score. Like Luton found it out last year, mate.
Yeah.
Like you go to the Prem, you make one mistake, they score.
Yeah.
Whereas the Championship, you can make 2 or 3 mistakes.
Okay.
And they won't score.
Yeah. So it's just
the difference in player level is really big.
So is it like like the difference in player level? Obviously, you're going to get more elite players in the Prem, but also tactically, everyone's so much more fine-tuned that it's just harder to
break down certain teams. But no disrespect to the Championship, like it's tough. Like it's more of a fight.
Yeah.
Like you got to sharpen your elbows, you pull your socks up, mate. If you don't fancy it, you get turned over.
Is it almost like you have to have as a player, because I mean, you're like king of the champ, mate. You've completed it. You've completed it.
Literally.
But having played in the Prem and having played in the Champ, is it like you as an individual? Do you come at it with the same mindset as well, or is it the fact that you know the Championship is a different beast, so I just need to be on it the whole time, or is it just?
I half think you can play your way into Championship games. Like the Prem, you got to be bang on it straight from the start. Because if you get one chance, like you've got to
to take it,
100%. Whereas the Championship, you can like, if you're having a bad bit of a spell, you can go smash someone and then like lift yourself up. But when you're playing the Prem, you ain't got the chance to go and smash someone because the ball's already gone.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different mindset of like, the Prem, you got to be bang on it straight from the start. Championship, you have to be bang on it to even get in the game.
Yeah.
So it's a lot harder in the Prem to not like get yourself into the game, whereas the Championship, you can kind of run your way into the game.
Yeah. Did you prefer like the Premier League grind, like going into a season, right? Make sure we stay up, that sort of grind throughout a season, or did you prefer the Championship sort of like, we can do something here?
Yeah, it was. Do you know what I love the second part at Villa when we stayed up, when Grillo just kept us up on his own. It was like everyone banked up.
You played as well, mate.
No, but like I'm telling you now, just let everyone stay behind the ball and let's play counter attack. Once we clicked into that at Christmas, it was a whole different ball game. We were like first half of the season still going out. I think we can play on that. You can't.
Okay.
You've got to respect the Premiership.
Yeah.
And when we found that out, it was like, right, Grillo, you just stay 1v1. and just rip up your person and create a chance like that. So we went that route. But then the Championship's tough, man.
Is it? Do you feel like it's more of a slog in the Championship? You're like,
mate, it's Saturday, Tuesday. It is a slog.
That is brutal.
Yeah, it's tough. Championship. Personally, I had my best spells in the Championship, so it was like I enjoyed the champ, just because
it was more successful, I guess, right?
Yeah, but like I had my quality shone through more because I was more on the ball and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but then when I was at Arsenal, I played a few times. Like the through ball, I knew like Van Persie's going to know where I'm going. Do you know what I mean? Like the waves are a bit different, like brain waves. But then Championship, man, I had fun, man.
Mate, of course you did. What, you got 4 promotions?
4 promotions.
Villa, West Ham,
Norwich,
Luton. Completed it.
No, one more would have been nice.
No, yeah, but 4's fine.
Yeah, a bit greedy though.
Last bit on Arsenal. Henry asked me to ask you about the 8-2 game against Man United.
Yeah.
The famous 8-2 game. I remember where I was. I was in Portugal on a holiday, and it ruined my whole holiday because I was following it on BBC Sport. Yeah. And I couldn't believe just the... And Henry was there.
Yeah, I was sat on the bench.
No, you...
No,
Henry was in the stand, you were on the bench. But you came on.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Don't question Arsene, mate.
I know, but mate, again, put me on at right back.
Well,
Ashley Young chopping in and just whipping balls and that. I'm like... what do I do?
Yeah.
And I think we got sent off.
It was. I think it was Carl Jenkinson.
Yeah.
Was it Carl Jenkinson got sent off?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Poor Carl as well, Arsenal boy.
Oh, and then we just went downhill, man. It was like every shot just went in.
It was, and every shot was class as well. Like Young and Rooney just whipping the same top right.
And you know when Szczesny don't dive, he knows it's a good shot. Like
because he's great.
Can't get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird, man. Because like. That was a great United side, to be fair. We were maybe in a bit of a weird space.
Yeah.
But then, what is that like? Because at half time, what is it? Is 4-1 or something, or 5-1? I didn't even know.
Yeah, I blocked that game out.
Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry to bring it up. But yeah, is there anything that comes to mind of just that day? You like it was just weird, like in the dressing room, or
the coach after silence.
Really? Oh, I can imagine.
It's just like, what's just happened?
Because it was a bit like, you couldn't believe it.
No.
Because that's never 8-2.
Everything they hit just flew in. And it's not like it trickled in.
Yeah.
It flew in.
Also, what can you even say, like, either Arsene to you lot or you between each other? What can you say? After that, you're like, oh...
Yeah, what the... Do you know what I mean? Like the F, man.
You can swear.
Yeah, what the fuck just happened there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But, on to happier times. Forest.
Yeah.
Would you say Forest was like, that was the best period for you? You were like, top of your game, skipper.
Yeah, it was mad. I went up there and they just gave me the freedom to play. Midfield, then 10, softer striker.
Yeah.
It was like, just grew and grew each season. And then obviously got the armband when Chrissy got injured. And the whole city, man, it's such a sick ground. Like, it rocks. When we're playing well and it's rocking, man, there's not many better places.
Yeah, it's elite. I remember because I went uni there, so I was like, we'd go to watch Forest.
Yeah.
I don't know if wait, 20. No, when were you there?
20. When did I go? Maybe 13. 12, 13.
I could get your Wikipedia up.
Is it 12 or 13? I think it might be 13.
No. We'll get it up. Here we go. 2012, mate.
12, 13. I was close.
Okay, so 2012 to 2017.
Yeah, it's wicked, man. The whole city's wicked. Like. And it's nice because everyone's either... Do you know what I love about it? Notts County, Forest, and then the cricket ground.
Yeah.
How good is that?
On your doorstep.
Space? Yeah.
So good. And a great city as well. Good nightlife. You've obviously been about and played in quite a lot of places. How important do you think is like location in terms of a player deciding whether to go to somewhere? Because I know you've had like transfer speculation or like offers from different places. How much does that play into you? Like, I like the city, or I'm close to here, so I can.
Yeah, well, obviously London's always my home, and I always had a base down here.
Yeah.
So probably most weekends I'd come back after a game back home down here.
From Forest.
From Forest.
It's only like 2 hours.
Yeah, But then it takes its toll, man. I'm trying to do that every day.
Yeah.
Now I went for a phase near the end. I was taking the train up. I think near the end of the time when I finished, it was like, because I felt like I got stale. I couldn't really do much more for the club.
Yeah.
So obviously when Villa come knocking, I was like, all right, maybe it's a sign.
Also, because were they Prem at that point, or were they?
No, champ.
No, champ.
I think Steve Bruce raided the championship for the best players, and luckily for myself, I scored a hat trick right before the window. I only had 6 months left, and then had a meet with him, and then got it moving.
So you put yourself in the shop window at the right time.
Mate, I did.
Mate, even that, how important is that? Like, where you just hit a bit of form. Like I've seen so many. There are so many examples. Sorry, of like a player even just getting promoted from League One to champ, and then they have a great spell onto Christmas, and then like, yeah, a newly promoted Luton could be like, well, we'll get you for the Prem.
Yeah.
How quickly like a bit of form can just explode.
Mate, I have to say, so football is just about opinions, mate. If a scout likes you, a manager likes you, chief director or whatever likes you, you're moving there.
Yeah.
And then you see it with a lot of managers. They take the same players because they like them.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, same. And like backroom staff, players.
Yeah, if you've got a connection with someone, you can make a career out of that.
Yeah. Who was that for you? Did you feel like you had a manager that you liked playing under, or?
I love playing under Billy Davis.
Okay.
When I first went to the Notts,
yeah,
he was such a man manager that he was just like be free, but other terms of it, he was like very well tactically, but he touched on the tactics, but more of like self-care. Do you know what I mean? Like man to man, like man management is crucial. If you can get someone that's very good man manager, your team will fly.
Do you reckon that's what most footballers prefer, like a man manager?
Yeah, but I think that helps massively. But obviously, you want a coach that knows the whole inside out and that gives you that, but also can have a laugh and joke with you.
Yeah.
So it's finding that right balance of
that. The personal relationship, but also, because would you say in terms of like tactically, was there any manager that stood out where, in terms of your experience with him, you're like, oh wow, he's got us like a well-oiled machine? Growing
up, Wenger, the tactics, like when I used to watch his. Obviously be in the sessions and then like the tactic board, you're like, wow, like he knows football.
Because that's so weird, because I feel like that's what a lot of people say wasn't his strength. You know, where a lot of people say he was blessed with this amazing, but he obviously built an incredible squad where like Henri, Bergkamp, all that playing. And I think people don't really give him credit of like, let him play. Whereas there's probably tactics behind it.
For me, it was the little bits of like how to win games. And it didn't take much for him to show the signs of it. Because they're class players, they only need to hear it once and then do it on the training pitch. But like from a young lad growing up, seeing that side of it, I was like, wow. Like,
in terms of what? In terms of winning games?
No, he'll just pick out like the weaknesses in...
Oh, the oppo?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, I remember he said one about Gerrard. And I was like, no way. Gerrard's like a hero, like you can't...
He's complete.
Yeah. He was like, look, you watch when he steps forward this too far, there's space behind him. And it was the game Baptiste, did he score a hat-trick or something like that?
Julio Baptiste, in the League Cup.
Yeah. So I was on the bench and that game stuck with me. And he was just like, when he picked on Gerrard, I was like, no way, you can't pick on Gerrard like that. But like when I watched the game, there was certain spaces behind him and I was like, how does he like, the little things like...
Okay. Wow.
But yeah, it was mad, like him. And I'll tell you, he was really good. Dougie Freeman's now at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
He was really good.
You hear stories of the Chelsea players with Mourinho in his first stint when he obviously just won everything, and like was it Lampard were just saying like he would give them a prediction before the game and it came true. It must be like, okay, he knows what he's talking about.
Well, they're in the Prem for a reason, aren't they?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
They must know, but yeah, it gives not belief in a player, but you just trust him, didn't you? I think if Wenger had been around for so long as well, you trust his knowledge.
Yeah, and then for you as well, like with a manager that you get on with, so you say like Dougie Freedman or Arsene and stuff, in terms of your personal development as a player, how important do you think that is for?
Yeah, massive. I think you've got to have a connection with your coach. Even if you chat to him for 5 minutes a day, it's just like there was certain spells I was probably having bad guys. So what can I do to get better? And you'd be like, do this, and this, and then you go and do it, and then it will produce on a Saturday, and you'd be like, oh, that's why I did that.
Oh, okay, you know your stuff.
It clicks together now.
So you didn't fancy a bit of that? You know what I mean? After your career, a bit of coaching, pearls of wisdom.
No, not really. The hours, mate, are too long.
Nah.
They're the first ones in, last ones out.
Also, you got a successful business, so now you're like, well, I don't need it.
But no, do you know what I do? Like, I got bombed out of Villa, and I went with the 21s, and I had George Boateng and Mark Delaney, and they were like, look, train and give these boys knowledge how it is to the first team. I was like, yeah, sweet, literally going there. But when I'd smash the boys and that, and they were like, what are you doing? I'm like, what, you think you're going to walk over there and tiptoe past everyone?
Yeah.
And then obviously George Boateng, big tackler, he was like, mate, I love it. Can you do this every session? I was like, mate, no problem.
Yeah.
But
So you did enjoy it,
I
that aspect.
like giving them mentoring, because they're at that stage. Like, I don't think I have the personal patience for kids.
Okay.
But like for that 21 to 18s, I think like I do a little bit of Arsenal now and again, pop in my cousin's team under 18s. It's like, just like not mentoring, but like just giving them knowledge on what they need, what can they do better.
A nice little perspective for them to learn off.
Yeah, I think if I was to go into it full time, it'd be like mentor, like specialist midfielder kind of. Yeah. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Leaving from there to Villa, was that like an easy thing for you to do?
No, it wasn't easy, because I loved the club, but it was more of a probably to go and test myself. Like, was I still do it really? But in hindsight, I probably should have stayed.
But then you got promoted with Villa, so you know.
Yeah, I had good times, but I just didn't really get to my full potential there. Like, I kept picking up niggles and I couldn't stay fit.
Yeah.
Tore my hamstring twice, and it was like, I just can't catch a break here.
But then, do you feel, because there are cases of that as well, right? Where people move to a club and then, it just seems like they get injured all the time. Like, surely that's just a coincidence, though.
Yeah, it has to be.
Like,
so I was doing the same stuff, training hard, gym, and it's like, why am I getting injured now? I was getting injured like 2 years ago doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just madness.
So obviously you've got four promotions. How many of them do you know how many were like league wins and then like playoff wins?
Yeah, well, I didn't win the league, I think we've come second
when
I was at Norwich. But that's...
So automatic and then playoff?
Automatic's nice, it takes the pressure off knowing you've done it. But then going to Wembley, there's not many better feelings.
Nah, there is not much better than a final day of the season. Like, as a fan, we're watching it all on TV, and like if it's a relegation scrap of who can survive, or it's a playoff final at Wembley.
Yeah.
For you as a player, the nerves obviously must be bonkers, but if you then go on and win it, it must be the best feeling, man.
Yeah, like the feeling of winning it. But my favourite one was with Luton.
Really?
Yeah, just because the team and the whole place is just like it's a small club, do you know what I mean? But
tiny.
Yeah.
It's a tiny club.
The budget they had, but it was the recruitment of the boys.
Okay.
Like the motto is no dickheads, no egos.
Is that actually internally that's there?
Internally, yeah. And like it would kind of took me back to old school, because it would be like,
nice.
if we win, it'd be like 10, 12 of us out on a Saturday. Everyone's like, right, let's go out and have a beer.
Yeah.
And like, whereas the last probably 2-3 years before that, it was not like that.
No.
And that whole changing room was together, and that is half the battle in Championship.
Yeah. Well, that would be so good to know as well, on what you think is important in putting a run together where you can get promoted. Because as you say, right, it's such a grind in the champ. What goes into actually getting promoted? Like, is it 30% is just like you all need to be super together and grind, and then 40% is actually you need the quality of the players, and then there's the tactics of the manager? Or like, what do you feel is the most important thing?
Togetherness, probably like 80%.
80%?
100%.
To get promoted?
Yeah.
Just because
you got to run for your mate Saturday, Tuesday for a whole season. If you don't like your mate, you're like, oh, he's been taken on. I'm not running back for him.
Yeah, fair.
Like, but if you're together, but I'll tell you, the best things are team bonding. You go out and get pissed with your mates.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, you'll go and win the next 5 on a bounce.
Really?
It's mad as how it works, but like mentally, togetherness is massive.
Yeah. Right. I mean, to be fair, it kind of, as mad as it is to think of like an elite level of the sport, that still plays such a key role of like something as going out and getting drunk with your mate, and therefore you're all a bit more together.
Do you know what it is? Because you see the true potential of someone, like their true self.
Mm-hmm.
They let their guard down a bit from being in the training ground all the time, and you actually probably find something in them that you actually like.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like if we're stiff every day training, like moaning about how our body feels, you're like, mate, he's not moaning. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Whereas if you go out have a laugh, he does something stupid, you're like, oh mate, I actually like you.
Yeah.
And then you come to a Saturday and you're like, he's going out for Fred, he goes down, I'm going to go and smash him as well. And it's like, little things like that for me were brilliant.
Yeah. And then also like that compared to, say, putting a run together to stay up in the Prem. Is it kind of a similar feeling during the season? Like say it's from business end of the season from like Jan, Feb onwards in terms of like a run to promotion versus battling to stay up?
Yeah, the battle to stay up is probably the toughest one. It's mentally grinding because you're not winning games, like, and you know the team you got, you're not bad players.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're in the Prem for a reason. But it's like the year we stayed up with Villa down to the last day at West Ham. It was like, that was a good feeling, knowing that you've stayed up, completed. Do you know what I mean?
I guess it must be like a different elation, right? Because it's not, you haven't won anything.
No, it's a relief. And obviously I heard Roy Keane after, weren't it? Like kicking off like, oh, imagine if they win something.
Yeah.
And we were celebrating in the changing room. But like Mika Richards said it well, he said, mate, they've just stayed up in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Like they were bankers to go down.
Yeah.
And it's that feeling of staying in the Premier League. But as a player, obviously you don't want to go down. So it's, it's a good feeling staying up.
I know the idea of like being a footballer is so romanticised, but as someone who still like plays just Saturday League football, putting a run together to go advance through this crappy Surrey League Cup thing, it's the best feeling, mate. It's like, oh my God, we're in the semis. Like
your mental strength gets tougher every year.
Yeah.
Every year being in the game, you see different things, stuff happens, and you kind of adapt to it. And like going on a run, we lost in the final to Man City in the Carabao Cup. Was it Carabao Cup?
Who's this with Villa?
With Villa. Even that is an achievement for like going from that cup run, like, and then getting to the final. There's not many times you're playing a cup final as a player.
Yeah.
So like, that was probably one of my, like, even though it says finalist on the medal, so like it's one of my favourite medals.
Yeah.
And I was showing the kids the other day and they were like, oh, it's so small. I'm like, yeah, we don't understand what it is. how we've been through all these games.
Yeah, the blood, sweat and tears I put into this. Yeah.
But that's, it's a weird one. Cup runs are special, to be fair.
Yeah, man. Would you say you prefer cup runs to league runs?
FA Cup special.
FA Cup?
FA Cup's good.
Do you feel like there is something special about the FA Cup?
Yeah, man. Everyone just gets up for it, don't they?
Yeah.
It's like, was it after Christmas and it all kicks in and stuff, and yeah, it was good. But obviously a league, when you're winning games in a league and going bang, 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 3 points, you can see yourself just going up the table and that you're like, yeah, come on boys, another win, we're up here. And you get in the playoff spots and you're like second and floating around it. There's
always a thing of when it gets to playoff time, it's the team going into the playoffs with the most momentum, say the ones that just scrape in, they're always favourites to then go up. Do you feel that, or do you feel like it's whoever the best team is?
No, it's a dog eat dog when you get to the playoffs. Like we were, first year I was at Luton, we got to the playoffs and we were so under the radar. Mm-hmm. Like no Sky, nothing weren't talking to us. Mate, I remember seeing it, like got to the playoffs, suddenly all the cameras are in. Like, oh, we're in the playoffs, are we? Like, Sky turn up. Oh, here we go. Like, didn't want to cover us all season. Now we want a bit of airtime. I said, tell them, fuck off. Like, we were here, we were chilling. And then, but we got so many injuries for the away leg, and we lost that one. But like that feeling for them boys, like not many of them been that close to the Premier League. Yeah. And it was like, we'll take this and fuel it for next year. And then, obviously, the year after, we won at Wembley. Yeah. With the same group of boys that had a couple of additions, but same group.
So do you reckon it's almost experience helps you get through the playoffs rather than like...
Mate, the whole Wembley atmosphere is just adrenaline. Like, you buzz it, you drive in there, you see all the fans, mate.
And also, you know what's mad? The whole stadium's split 50-50, so it's just your colours, their colours.
Yeah, that was my favourite one, the last one. And when he missed the penalty, the lad, bless him. But, mate, what a feeling when see that ball just take off like into the stand.
the 0.1 seconds, you're like, oh no, feel sorry for him. You're like, who cares, mate?
Mate, what a feeling that was.
Your career spans over like a long time. So like, as we've said, long career. You paid the price with your leg, but that's fine. You know what I mean? But who would you say is like the best player you played against? I know it's a basic question, but...
No, it's a tough one though, because there's two. And I remember just personally playing against them, it was Gerrard and Suarez. And
dirty.
I was only young, yeah. And I remember Suarez kept getting it on the swivel and kept like just, you've knocked the ball at you.
Yeah.
And then still come out of it the other side.
You do these weird touches.
And I was like, why does he keep doing this? Like, as a young kid coming on, I was like, mate, this is mental. And then obviously Gerrard flying about, just zinging balls. I was like, wow.
Because what year was that? Because
mate, you're asking the wrong person.
Google it. Yeah. But as in like early, like when you were coming through early and Gerrard in like 2010, for example, Gerrard's still just doing it.
I was just like, wow, like, look at just Gerrard. I'm kind of picture Gerrard.
Mad.
No, it's mental.
Mate, Suarez as well is one of those ones where he is like maybe top. It's difficult now, but like top 3 strikers ever in the Prem in terms of his peak. And some of the stuff you'd see him do on the ball, you're like, what even is that?
No, but it also gives you a thing of like, that's what you got to get to as like a footballer. So like, I'd obviously seen it and I was like, right, I've got to go and practice.
Yeah. Like, try and do these dribble through touches.
No, I wasn't a dribbler, I was a passer, so I was more like I had to perfect my dives, perfect my through balls, like pace of the ball and all that, and that's eventually like chopping balls through, no looks and all that was the... Yeah, it was funny actually, I pulled out some shirts the other day, I got a Nedved shirt.
You played against Nedved?
It was...
that was too late, no?
No, he was at Juventus and it was... I think it was probably one of the first Emirates Cups, when they played a...
Yeah, of course. Great time to get a shirt, by the way.
Yeah, I pulled it out the other day. I was like, "Oh my god, I've still got this!" Like, it was just in my garage.
Were you one of them where, like, at the end of the game, you want to go up to the main geezer and like?
No, I was never. I regret that now, though.
Really?
I was never like a shirt person, but I don't know why I got Nedved. I think I was more feared of like me going, "Oh, can we swap shirts?" Then going, "No, I'm alright."
No, yeah, that because you always see. No, but the thing is, there's like some mutual respect to football where you're like, "It's fine, I'll take yours."
If I look back now and I was young, so I would have happily like gone up to everyone after a game. Like, mate, can I have a shirt?
Do you? So that you say like, oh, "I wish I did that." Do you actually have any regrets from your career?
No.
Apart from swapping shirts.
No, not really.
No.
I had fun.
That's good.
It was enjoyable.
But is it because you were, I guess, also realistic with like, I don't know, what was possible, where you were kind of, if your body was starting to break down and that sort of stuff?
It's a weird one. Like, I just, like I say, I'm quite laid back and...
Really? I don't know.
I just enjoyed every minute of it. Like, mate, every kid's dream is to play football.
100%.
And like, you don't realise until it's finished how actually good it is.
Yeah.
Like, what I miss now is going into training ground, having banter from as soon as you walk in to as soon as you leave, and it's like I was doing that every day for years.
So good.
And it's, the best.
But it's so nice to hear this.
But it's ruthless. Like I could not go into an office now and try and chuck half the banter about an office. I'd be sacked in like 2 minutes. But I try and do it at grass games. Like I try and have a bit of banter with the boys, and it's just not the same. Do you know what I mean?
Because it is. I guess it is just so. It's super contained. Also, all of you are probably very similar in terms of the way you're driven and like...
Yeah, it's like a ruthless respect for each other, really.
Okay.
It's like the more you banter someone, like, I'm like that. If I banter you, I like you.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't talk to you, then I'm not really... Do you know what I mean?
Not really bothered.
Not really my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I even say it to my mates now. I said, they're like, why do you always take the piss? I'm like, mate, 'cause I like you.
Yeah.
You'd rather me take the piss than not actually speak to you.
Yeah.
So I loved it. And like,
That's
even now,
so good though.
I speak to the guy, the media guy at Villa. Like, I'm really friendly with him because he was Scottish and we just used to banter. We would just nick each other's cars and do absolutely most random stuff ever.
Yeah.
And it was like, because we like each other and we still chat to each other now. Do you know what I mean?
You also do, as well as grass games, you're doing some TV stuff. You liking that? Punditry?
Yeah, I do. I enjoy it. Get to watch football for free.
Yeah, it's nice. Go to the Emirates, watch the boys.
Yeah, it gets me out of the house, away from 3 kids. So easier there than it is home.
Would you want to do that even more in the future, or is it like a nice level now where you're like you've got your company and then you can just do bits and bobs?
Yeah, it's a nice level now. It's just hard to balance with the kids, man. Like the weekends, kids always got parties, and it's like, well, where are we going this week? What's off play? Do you know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
And it's nice to get out of the house, but I don't have much time to watch football.
Yeah.
So I'm more going off it as an insight of how I feel like at the game at the time.
Give it a few years, kids grow up, they get into golf, you can play golf with them, and then they don't need looking after as much, then you can do more TV stuff.
Could be the way forward.
That's the vision, mate. That's the vision I've got for
I'll
you.
keep it with you then.
But Henry, mate, thank you so much, honestly.
Thank you for having me, mate.
That was great. It was very insightful. Thank you so much for coming on, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Give Henry a follow. Follow Grass Gains. If you get your fertiliser, get Grass Gains. It's organic. It's the best stuff to get, probably.
Pet and child friendly.
Pet and child friendly. See, that's great as well. They didn't think of that. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know who I should get on next, and I'll see you on the next episode. Oh, what's that?
Tea with Timbsy.
Ah, legend. I thought it was that some random. I don't know. Thierry Henry, I love you.